Hey, it's Megan. Welcome back to another Dollar Store DIY video. This time I'm sharing 20 of my most favorite outdoor and patio DIYs, and we're getting started right now. For this first idea, all you need is a medium to large size planter, a broomstick available at Dollar Tree, and a pool noodle. You can also find those at Dollar Tree, or heads up, word to the wise, Walmart's usually a little bit cheaper when it comes to pool noodles, but not by much. Just take your pool noodle, cut it down into many different little pieces, then add your broomstick to the middle of one of the pool noodle pieces and hot glue that to the bottom middle of the planter. You can add your leftover pool noodle pieces as filler, but you do want to add something heavy weighted bricks or rocks. Now fill up your planter with potting soil and florals. The cool thing about extra pool noodles is we're saving ourselves on potting soil, which can get kind of pricey, and it's also helping the broomstick to stay up straight. Just loose potting soil, the broomstick would tip side to side after it kind of settles in and gets weighted. Then you can just add a solar light to the top of your broomstick. This solar light is from Walmart, but Dollar Tree sells them just the same. You got yourself some nice outdoor lighting, my friend. All you need to do is pick up 3 to 4 of Dollar Tree's metal planters and then poke drainage holes on the bottom. You can do that with a drill or even nails and a hammer. Then go to Dollar General and pick up 2 of their $1 wooden stakes. Y'all, these stakes are a steal of a deal. They are 3 feet long, real wood. They can go indoors or outdoors. So actually, I would suggest you pick up more than 2, but we only need 2 for this DIY. Then all you have to do is use a staple gun, small nails, or small screws to attach your planters to your wooden stakes. And that's it. Bada bing, bada boom, this DIY is done. Now, the cool thing is these metal planters can be easily spray painted to the color of your choice. I originally spray painted mine white, changed my mind and spray painted the whole thing black just because it goes better with my outdoor decor. But I do want to say this can be used year-round, indoors or outdoors. I think this would be great for organization. I can see this in a small bathroom, laundry room, craft room, or even a closet. I was looking online for an outdoor watermelon rug. What I came across, the prices weren't bad, but the rug itself was too small and the texture just wasn't quite right. But we can make our own for cheaper, and it's going to look, in my personal 100% biased opinion, better. Just tape 2 Dollar Tree doormats together. It doesn't matter the style. They don't even have to match. They just need to be the same size. Tape them together, then use something round. I used a hula hoop to trace out a half circle. After you trace out your half circle, do not throw away the extra pieces. Tape those on the side to expand your rug even more. Then grab some rope. It doesn't matter what rope either. You can use Dollar Tree's nautical rope. You can use the white rope. I like to buy rope off Amazon, but the best deal's probably going to be Dollar General. For $4, you get 100 feet. And for this DIY, depending on the size of rope you use, you will need about 250 to 350 feet of rope. So Dollar General is probably going to be the best deal in this situation. Just start wrapping your rope all the way around your rug. After you get a few rows done, skip a few rows and start wrapping again and just finish it off with rope. You don't need to use different colors of rope. I just did that. I wanted to use up the rope I had on hand, and I thought it'd be easier to show on camera. Then you can hand paint or spray paint your rug. I always prefer spray painting. Spray painting's so quick and easy, and it holds up really well outside. Then you just go back and add your last piece of rope. You can use Dollar Tree's white nautical rope for this. It looks beautiful, but you could also use the light brown regular rope. That would look fine just the same. For the little seeds in the watermelon, you can use chalk paint. Really, you can use whatever paint you want. I think the best paint for outdoor rugs is spray paint 1, and second, puff paint, which is sold at Dollar Tree, by the way. Spray paint is great for large area coverings for rugs, but the puff paint, when it hardens, it's not going to fade or leak or stain or run. It stays in place. It almost becomes a part of it does become a part of the rug. And puff paint is great for the small detail paintings on rugs. For this next idea, you just need to pick up a plaque of wood. Now, Dollar Tree will sell plaques of wood, but I think it's pretty easy, in my area at least, to find free wood on Facebook Marketplace or just in the trash that my neighbors are putting out every Wednesday. So you need 1 plaque of wood and then 2 wooden boxes from Dollar Tree. Optional, you can stain your wood. I prefer staining with coffee. I find it the easiest. I really love the way it looks. It turns out it doesn't have a foul smell like real stain does, and it's a natural stain. It works really, really well. But once again, totally optional. Then you want to use wood glue. Now, Dollar Tree does sell wood glue. There's nothing wrong with Dollar Tree's wood glue. I just usually end up buying my wood glue from Walmart because it's always there, and my Dollar Tree doesn't always carry wood glue. So wood glue your boxes to the bottom of your plaque. And now we got a few options, my friends. One, you could pick up one of their welcome signs. They come in a pack of 3, like welcome, hello, family. You could stencil your last name on there, or you can just use some numbers. I made this for a neighbor. She gave me the number, so that's what I used. And then to hang our planter, you just need some eye hooks and a garden chain. Actually, I don't know if those are called eye hooks, but they're the coffee mug hooks, but they make a loop. I'm pretty sure they're called eye hooks. Whatever they are, Dollar Tree does carry them. That's it. I think this looks really great. Super nice, high end. I told my neighbor when I first made this for her, I wasn't sure if it was going to hold up, and it has for almost 3 years now. But another option is you can pick up one of Dollar Tree's longer plaques in just one wooden box. Everything is the same. You're going to use wood glue to glue your box to your plaque. You could stain it or paint it like I did this time. Once again, add your numbers or stencil your last name. With this one, because the wood is thinner, I sealed it. This was made for another neighbor. Hers is also holding up fine, although this one is on a covered porch, so take that as you will. I'm in Texas. I can only give advice on my weather and the situations, the DIYs I make or put in, but this has held up great for like 2 years. And we are on to the next one, my friend, where all you need to do is grab a broom handle from Dollar Tree and then one pool noodle from Dollar Tree or Walmart. Once again, Walmart's usually cheaper, not by much, but the pool noodles are the same size. You're gonna cut your pool noodle in half, and then you're gonna take those 2 halves and cut them into 3 smaller strips. Now listen, it does not have to be perfect. In fact, it works out better if your strips are all different sizes. Starting with your smallest or thinnest strip, you're gonna duct tape that to the top of your broomstick. And then you're going to duct tape the next pool noodle to the first pool noodle and wrap your pool noodle around your broomstick. And keep on wrapping as you go down your broomstick. This will not look pretty at this point, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about the color of the duct tape. Don't worry about how this looks like a mummy or a bandaged pool noodle. It all turns out great in the end. I also want to say at first it was a little tricky, but I found if I kind of kept my broomstick in place and just wrapped the noodle around the broomstick, that was the easiest way for me to do it. I put my weight on it as I was wrapping and rolling, worked out great. And then, hey, good news, you actually only technically need 3/4 of a pool noodle. So I had 2 strips left over. Instead of tossing those, I went ahead and duct taped those to the bottom of my topiary because we're making a topiary, and it worked out fine. But you could do this with 3/4 of a pool noodle. You need a lot less supplies than it looks like you need for this DIY. Speaking of needing a lot less than you think, you really only need 3 to 5 bags of moss. I used 4.5 bags of moss, and I lathered that thing up with moss. I was very generous with my moss gluing. Last time I shared this DIY, people were saying, oh, you could have used spray adhesive. Spray adhesive seems to slide off the pool noodle, for me at least. Hot glue works the best. It also kind of melts the pool noodle and the moss all together, so it's just one big decor piece. It doesn't fall apart. In fact, I made this for a neighbor. She put it outside. This has been like 2 years ago. It's going strong. The color of the moss is faded. It's not as bright green, but the DIY itself, it still looks great. Then all you gotta do is stick your broomstick into the bottom of a planter. I used a pool noodle to do this, and then fill the bottom with some brown moss or more green moss. That is it, my friend. Now, I originally saw this idea, this technique done by Sarah Jane Chic on the Cheap. I thought it was amazing. My mind was blown. It was the most creative thing I'd ever seen. And then I saw Pottery Barn wanted to sell the same size topiary for like $350. No thanks, ma'am. We can make our own. You can make a different shape. You can make this bigger, taller. You can totally customize it. And it's definitely a big money saver. For this next idea, just grab 2 bowls of the same size from Dollar Tree or Walmart. Heads up, once again, when it comes to bowls, Walmart is still a little bit cheaper, but not by much. So just pick up whatever closest to you, 2 bowls the same size. Then use some gel super glue or some type of strong hold glue like E6000 to glue your 2 bowls together bottom to bottom. Then you can paint your bowls whatever color your heart desires. You can spray paint or hand paint. My heart will always desire whatever spray paint I have on hand. And I always have heirloom white. It's one of my favorite colors. It's a nice cream white. So that's what color I painted my bowl. Side note, I've spray painted candles or making candles before, and people have mentioned like spray paint's flammable. Spray paint fumes are flammable, but dried spray paint, it's good to go. You're fine. Anyways, all you have to do is hot glue a wick to the middle of your bowl, round up some of your almost burnt down candles, or you can purchase new candles from Dollar Tree, melt them low to medium heat for about 35 to 45 minutes. So check it out. A few years ago, I read a blog that said eucalyptus, lemon, lavender. If you add that to a candle, it will keep the bugs away. So I tried that out. And to be 100% totally honest, I'm not sure if it made a difference. It definitely didn't attract more bugs. It made the candles smell great, but I don't know if it was a pointless step or not. I really have no way of testing that theory out. Anyways, I ended up making 2 of these wonderfully smelled candles. And since I've made this video, I've totally burnt down both the candles, but then I was able to reuse the candle glasses because this is glass. You can just wash it out just like you would do with any other candle and reuse these glass holders, candle holders over and over and over again. Grab a pack of these square wooden planks from Dollar Tree and then any one of their solar lights. It doesn't matter. They have 3 main solar lights that kind of work with almost any DIY. They have the fat one, the round one, and the skinny one. I'm using the short fat one for this. And you just hot glue that to your plank, paint your plank black or whatever color your solar light is to match. And now you have a really nice little table light. Another quick idea for solar lights is to save any lid, like a salsa lid or a pasta jar lid, and paint that to match the top of your solar light. Hot glue your solar light to the middle of your lid, and then use your solar light as if it were a candle. So any lantern you already have or any candle holders, use that instead of having a flame candle outdoors. That way you can put it on your little patio table and no worried about burning your hair or like somebody knocking it over and starting a fire. For this next idea, you just need to grab a hanging planter from the old DT and some white poly rope or whatever color rope you want to use. I like the white poly rope. You get 25 feet for $1.25, and I think that's a great deal. Now, when I originally made this idea, I spray painted the hanger white. This was not necessary because after you take your rope, you wrap it around the planter, weaving in and out between the wires. You will not be able to see anywhere on this planter. The only area you can see the wire will be at the very bottom, and that really doesn't matter too much. I ended up using almost 2 packs of the 25 feet poly rope to wrap the planter completely, and it looks great. Then you can hang the planter with the chains it came with, or I reused some or recycled some old rope from an old DIY I had, pulled that apart and just tied it to the little side handles that the planter comes with. Also, did you know Dollar Tree sells $1.25 cocoa liners, which I think is still a great deal. The only other place I think you can get cocoa liners that cheap would maybe be Dollar General. In my store, my local Dollar General, they don't always carry those. So anyways, yeah, here's my planter. It looks great. The rope has faded a little bit from being outside, but the poly rope has not. It's still super bright white. This works as a great planter. Okay, so I'm probably the most excited about this DIY. West Elm Pottery Barn, they want you to pay over $100 for a super large lantern. But guess what? We can make the same thing for a heck of a lot less money. This time you need to pick up 4 of Dollar General's $1 wooden stakes, 3 feet long, mark it down to about 6 inches, and then cut it down with a saw. The wood's thin enough, it's only about an inch thick, and it's really easy to cut. After you cut your first piece, you're going to use that as your marker for the rest of your pieces. So one steak, you're going to cut down 2 6-inch pieces, and then you're going to have one longer piece left over. You're going to repeat that on the remaining 3 steaks. So you'll have 8 pieces at 6 inches, and then you'll have the leftover longer 4 pieces. I hope I didn't confuse you there. I tried my best to show clearly and explain it clearly what I'm doing, but I think you'll get the idea. Then you just need some wood glue, and not necessary, but it definitely helps if you pick up a square. You can grab a square at Dollar Tree along with the wood glue if you don't already have one. This is just really going to help to get that nice, clean 90-degree angle. Use your wood glue to connect your pieces together. You're going to make a large rectangle, and after that rectangle dries, you're going to repeat those steps and you're going to make another rectangle. So you should have 2 rectangles and then 4 of the 6-inch wood pieces left over. All you have to do now, though, is use your wood glue to connect your 4 6-inch wood pieces to your first rectangle and then add your second rectangle. And now you're going to have your lantern. At this point, you want to really make sure that you let the wood glue cure at least overnight. And you may need to use something heavy to make sure the wood pieces stay flush to each other. That's what I had to do. No worries, no problem. And that's it. It's done. You can leave it solid wood or stain it, or like I did, you can totally spray paint it. If you are going to stain it or even paint it, make sure you seal it if you're going to put it outside just to make it last longer. And I love the way this turned out. I want to make another one. I think this is great indoors or outdoors. It works with every style, whether you're modern, glam, farmhouse, rustic, boho. It doesn't matter. I think it works with everyone. And we are halfway done with this video, my friend. You've made it to number 10. And for number 10, all you got to do is pick up a pool noodle. Once again, Dollar Tree, Walmart, it doesn't matter. Cut your pool noodle long ways, hot dog style. You're cutting it in half. Technically, you don't have to cut it in half, but this will save some product. Then with those pieces, you're going to glue together a first or last initial. Grab a bag of moss and hot glue that to your pool noodle initial. Ta-da! You have some really nice initial decor. So I made 2 of these. This K and the second K I made for a neighbor. Her first and last name is K. For the second K, I just taped 2 pool noodles together to make a beefy K. And instead of using moss, I hot glued florals all over the letter K. But this would work with any letter or number. You just got to hot glue it to make the shape you need. And this can be used outdoors. Like I said, she used this for a wedding. I think this would go good for a birthday. You could use this for a wreath. And instead of just a traditional round wreath, why not do your last initial? Or you could even do numbers for like baby's 2nd or 3rd birthday. Make a 2 or a 3. Pick up 3 different sizes of planters from Dollar Tree or any planters you already have on hand. Don't worry if they don't match in color, because these can be easily spray painted. Main thing is you just want to make sure your planters are 3 different sizes. Then cut a hole in the bottom of all 3 planters. Cut down a pool noodle to the size, the height of each planter, and hot glue that to the middle of each planter. And then go on down to your local Walmart, which I find the cheapest dowel rods. But if you know somewhere cheaper, hey, leave it in the comments. Sharing is caring. Pick up a dowel rod and you're going to shove that through the biggest planter. Add some potting soil. Add your flowers, and then add your second planter. Now, when I first shared this DIY, people had asked, well, what's the point of the pool noodles? It's to keep the planter stable. I don't know if you've ever stacked planters before, but soil moves and it settles, and they pretty much just end up suffocating the bottom 2 planters. So the pool noodle keeps it in place. It helps save on potting soil, and it keeps the planters from sagging into each other. But you could also add a solar light at the top instead of topping it off with a planter. These stickers from Dollar Tree are really a great crafting DIY. I love them. They come in a line. They're not individual stickers. Pick up 2 to 3 packs of stickers and then grab any tray that Dollar Tree carries or any tray you already have on hand. I got this tray, Walmart clearance, 75 cents. I thought it was a bargain. And all I did was put the stickers all the way around my tray. I used 3 packs of stickers for this. Then all you got to do is paint your tray, whatever color your heart desires. Now, if you're spray painting or if you're just painting plastic, any plastic, 1, I would suggest chalk paint and then seal that so it doesn't chip away. 2, use Mod Podge first and then paint over it. Or 3, use a good spray paint like Rust-Oleum, my favorite. That's my personal favorite spray paint because it covers full coverage on plastic. It doesn't chip after it's cured. And that's it. I think this is a really cool tray, and it's also a really cool technique to jazz up any old tray or even mug or candle vase that you have you want to give a new look to. This next idea is something I made 4 years ago, and the neighbor I gave it to, it's going strong. So Kirkland's was selling this big topiary for $70, and we can make this way cheaper. You just need to grab a toy foam ball, not the inflatable ball, the foam ball from Dollar Tree, and paint that black or dark green. Then grab about 7 to 8, it just depends on what type of greenery you're using, greenery picks, and you're going to cut those down into smaller pieces. So I even cut each stem in half. And then all you got to do is just start stabbing that into your ball. Now, check it out, y'all. This is another DIY that it seems like you need a lot more product than you really do. Each stem is about 1 inch to 2 inches apart, and it fills it up. So you will be able to see up close some of the black ball, but from a distance, it all blends in. Then I grab the largest size dowel rod Walmart sells that's still under $1. I believe it's the orange dot size. It's just the largest size they sell that's still under $1. I mean, you'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. And paint that burnt umber. Stab that into the bottom of our topiary. And then in the inspiration picture, it had a vine wrapped around it. So grabbed one of these garland vines from Dollar Tree, removed the leaves, picked up some twigs and sticks out of my yard from Mother Nature for free, and wrap that around the bottom of the topiary. Then to stabilize this, you can just use any tin you have on hand or pick up one from Dollar Tree, put a pool noodle or some floral foam in the bottom, boatload of hot glue and something heavy like rocks. And then you can put it in whatever planter you have on hand. When you purchase these type of topiaries online, they usually come with a little small planter on the bottom. They don't come with a big decorated planter anyways. So this worked out fine. Now, when I originally made this, Dollar Tree was still $1. So it was only, I think, like $12 total, $13. It was under $15. Still today, it's under $20, which is still a great deal because our topiary is over 3 feet tall and the one from Kirkland's was like 2.5 feet. And then another idea, same thing. We're making another topiary from Kirkland's. They want it $70. This one was only 2 feet tall. Ours is going to be over 3 feet tall. Same thing here. We're using the foam toy ball, not the inflatable ball. Every time I do this, people are like, how does your ball not pop? It's not inflatable. This is foam. You can squeeze it, you can stab it, it will not pop. Ball, and paint it black. Then a few bags of lemons from Dollar Tree and any plain greenery picks. Dollar Tree and Walmart both sell just plain greenery leaves. You're going to pull off the top of your greenery leaf and stab it into your lemon. And then you're going to stab your lemons all over the topiary, just like we've done before. The only difference with this one is, 1, we're using lemons, and 2, the lemons are spaced out a lot further than I spaced out the first topiary. So it was like 2 to 3 inches apart. Then game time decision, this was not in the inspiration piece, but I like the contrast of the white, green, and yellow. I added some baby's breath into the topiary just to snazz it up a little bit more. But everything else was the same. So with the stem, I used the dowel rod, wrapped around the vine, added some twigs from outdoors, and staked it into some rocks with some floral foam. Now, I don't like beeping my own horn, but toot toot, I think mine looks a lot better. Like for real, ours is bigger. I think it looks better. Yeah, I gave it to a friend. I'm not big on lemon decor. She is. She loved it, and I love that she loves it. This next idea you've probably seen done a few different times on TikTok or here on YouTube. We're going to make our own version with a little twist. All you have to do is glue together a bunch of foam wreath forms with hot glue. And then you want to paint your foam wreath forms. I'm saying foam wreath forms over and over again because you cannot spray paint foam, y'all. If you try to spray paint these wreath forms, they'll melt on you. So unfortunately, I had to hand paint. All right, so no spray painting, hand paint. Then just take a trash wastebasket, cut off the top, and shove that right into the middle of the wreath forms. Now, I use chalk paint, which is a great primer. So after you've primed your wreath forms, you can spray paint. Although I'm not spray painting a different color, I'm keeping the white base color and I'm using the Stone Look spray paint by Rust-Oleum. You just need like 4 or 5 sprays, you're good to go. I've used the same can for like 3 years now, y'all. It's really a great deal. Then pick up a $3 wood round from Dollar Tree, which is also an amazing deal. $3 for a 12-inch round. I don't think you can get them cheap like that anywhere else. And you want to seal the wood, especially for outdoors. And we just made ourselves a really cool storage end table. Y'all, these are so cute. I love these. You can store your gardening decor in there. Maybe you want to put your sun lotion in there. SPF 30. I do SPF 90 because I'm so pale and I get burnt. Or you could just use them as planters. And they're very lightweight, so they can be stored super easily. Grab any one of Dollar Tree's planters. I think this works the best if it's the kind that you can remove the tray from the bottom, but you can use any planter for this. Then some Dollar Tree spackle, and you're gonna add 1 part spackle, 1 part paint. Doesn't matter the paint color or the type of paint, just 1 part spackle, 1 part paint. You're gonna mix it together. It's gonna have the consistency of a thin-ish thick milkshake. Like not a super thick, like frosty, but a nice thick milkshake. And you're gonna paint that all over your planter. The great thing about the spackle is super fast dry time, y'all. Like 5 or 10 minutes, that bad boy is done, it's dry. And then you paint the bottom tray just the same. Then you're gonna take another color. Once again, whatever color your heart desires. I don't carry very many paint colors on hand, usually just the primary colors. So I use black, but you could do this blue, red, pink, purple, green. It doesn't matter. Whatever is tickling your fancy at the time. And mix, once again, 1 part paint, 1 part spackle. Grab some of Dollar Tree stencils and you're going to dab the second paint color on the planter. This gives a really cool raised look. And because the spackle dries so fast, I was able to do this in 1 sitting. So I really didn't have to wait from one side to dry to the other. In fact, by the time I finished totally all the way around the planter, I don't know if you can see, the first part I painted was already dry, totally dry. Then using that same color, not adding any spackle, you're going to barely dry brush that all over the planter. Because the spackle gives raised texture, this is really gonna bring out that nice raised texture and all those bumps and imperfections. I love it. It looks really, really cool. Once again, you can do this with any colors. I get comments all the time. Why is everything so neutral? It's just what I like. I like neutrals and muted pastels. It's my thing. And you're just dry brushing all over your planter. Then for the bottom tray, I just painted that totally black. Originally, I painted this black and it looked fine black, but it looks like a black and white newspaper photo to me when I looked at it. It doesn't look bad, but because of where I was putting it, I changed my mind and I painted a warmer caramel brown color because it matched with my aesthetic. Now, if you're gonna put this outside, spackle is not made for exterior use unless you seal it. So if you're putting anything you paint with spackle outside, make sure you seal it with a clear spray paint or some type of clear polyacrylic. And we're on to the next one. You just need to grab a few of your favorite floral picks. You want big, small, super large, different textures, and about the same color scheme. And then 5 eucalyptus picks from Dollar Tree or Walmart. They both sell eucalyptus picks. You're gonna start the base of your wreath with your 5 eucalyptus picks, putting them in your wreath spaced evenly and spreading them out. No hot glue is needed at this point. Then you're gonna start with your middle-sized flowers and space those evenly all throughout the wreath. Once again, no hot glue is needed at this point. Go in with your largest flowers or your flashiest flowers, I guess you could say. And then you're gonna go back in with the smallest flowers. And that's how you make a perfectly even distributed wreath. And you could stop right here. In fact, I thought I was going to stop right here, but I didn't stop right here. I went and I added some baby's breath. I love baby's breath. I think it does amazing for any floral arrangement year round. And then I went back and hot glued any little bald spot just to keep the wreath form hidden. And that's it. I originally shared this DIY back in 2020 with bright pink colors. Since then, I just traded out the pink for more muted yellow. And today, 2024, this is still the wreath I use for my everyday wreath decor. I love it. When I originally made it, it was under $15. Today, with Dollar Tree prices, I still think it'd be under $20. So I still think it's a great deal. You can go to Walmart and snatch up 2 to 3 of their dowel rods. It does not matter the size. What matters is the dowel rod is skinnier than the bottom of the solar light. And the cool thing about the dowel rods is you can paint them to match your solar light. They can easily be cut down because they're not super thick, but they are sturdy enough to stay in the ground and not warp in just one season. Or for a different look, try Dollar Tree's globe solar lights. I really love the way this looks. This looks really nice. Or another idea here for you, just spitfiring things out at you, is to use one of Dollar Tree's wine glasses. It's really cool. A lot of Dollar Tree items fit together so well, and the bottom of a wine glass is the same size as the top of a standard size solar light. This next idea is probably one of my all-time favorites. I say that a lot, but I really mean it this time. This is a DIY I've had in my home inside and outside for 5 years now. You just need one box of tumbling tower game from Dollar Tree's toy section. Optional, you can stain your wood. Once again, I'm a coffee stain type of gal. I don't like using traditional stain. It stains my hands, it stinks. Coffee is just a really natural, cheap way to stain wood. Then all you gotta do is grab some gel super glue and glue 3 blocks together to make a little square, and then you're gonna glue those 4 blocks together to make a big square. So you're gonna have one big square made of 12 blocks. Now, originally Dollar Tree would only sell these tumbling tower games in a 36 count. Now they come in 72 count, so one tumbling tower box will make 6 coasters. You can grab some coaster board. It's not coaster board. What is it? Cork board. There we go. Cork board to put on the back of your coasters. And that is it, my friend. I love these. Once again, these right here, these 3, I've had these Mama Jammas for 5 years now, going strong, indoors and outdoors. For number 19, you just need 2 planters or 2 buckets that are the same size. They don't need to match in color, but they do need to be from the same mold pretty much. You're going to tape them together using duct tape, a decent boatload amount of duct tape till it's nice and firm. Then you're going to use any type of rope you can find at Dollar Tree, any rope you have on hand. I think it looks really cool if you mix the traditional nautical rope with the poly rope, the black poly rope, and the black poly rope comes in a pack of 50 feet, which is really a great deal. Now, when it comes to nautical rope, Dollar Tree is not always the best deal. In fact, a lot of times I'll find better deals on Amazon. So I want to let you know, when I originally did this, I used hot glue and I hot glued my rope to, which is going to be our little side stool. That has always worked out for me in the past if I'm wrapping a planter, but for this stool, leaving it outside, if I could do this over from the start, I would just use some type of construction adhesive, something made, or maybe even outdoor glue. The side of the stool held up fine, but the top had started to lift. So after I made this DIY, I did go back and glue the top down with some construction adhesive. So there you go. Word to the wise, learn from my mistakes. You probably don't want to use hot glue, at least on the top. But it looks great. And I would say if you didn't have this outdoors and you just leave your outdoor decor outside all year round, you'd probably be fine. I didn't take this in over the winter, so maybe that was just my mistake. And shout out to all the real ones, the real MVPs who made it to number 20 here with me. We are on the last DIY, my friend, where all you need to do is grab 4 to 6 boxes of tumbling tower game from Dollar Tree, and you want some wood. I never pay for scrap wood. I always look on Facebook Market, or this piece of wood in particular, I dug out of my neighbor's trash. It's actually an old shelf, so I'm pretty sure you could find about the same thing. So I used 5 boxes of tumbling tower games, and using the same little 3-block pattern, I did that all over my board using wood glue. Now, you'll see once we finish that not all of the Jenga pieces match up perfectly. There'll be cracks. It's not a total 90-degree angle. That's fine. No worries, my friend. All you have to do is go back in those cracks with some wood glue and then take a little damp cloth, kind of rub it in the cracks, then just take some sandpaper and sand over that. That makes kind of like its own wood filler. You won't even be able to see the cracks. Nothing can fall down in there. We'll be able to seal it all together at the end. Then, because the wood blocks didn't fit on there exactly perfect, I did need to cut off some of the pieces of wood. Now I'm whipping out my little circular saw. It seems scary, but it's not. And they're very inexpensive. It's a very inexpensive craft tool, and you'll be able to really up your crafting game. So I got mine at a yard sale for like $5, y'all, but you can buy them brand new at Walmart for like $30. Seriously, get yourself a little circular saw, up your crafting game. For the legs of my table, because I'm making a table, I had purchased coffee table legs. For my old coffee table, I was just going to switch out the bottom. I ended up changing my mind and ordering a custom table from a local business here in Texas. I love what he did. He did a great job. But then I still had these legs I'd ordered off Amazon, and it was too late to return. This was a great little solution. I don't know what these legs, table legs, would cost today. I can't imagine they'd be much more than $15 to $18. All in all said and done, I have a total of, what's 18 plus 5? $23 in on this bench. And I love it. Now, what you're looking at now, I originally didn't seal it. I did go back and seal it with some clear sealer. I didn't stain the wood. I left it raw. I love the way it turned out. Now, this technique can also be used on trays if you want to make a serving tray or some type of table. On Instagram a few years ago, somebody sent me, they actually made a round tabletop with these Jenga pieces. These Jenga pieces are real wood, and it's really a great deal. Anyways, that is it, my friend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane and an update on some of my favorite patio outdoor summer DIYs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.